everybody, KC0VII Tom and little Duke. Duke is out here outside with me today. Duke, you got the mic cord wrapped around your paw. He's fantastic with the paws. We can be sitting there watching TV on the couch and he can actually hit the remote and change channels on me. Right, the best part, the final lap of a NASCAR race, next thing I know I'm watching tennis. Today we're getting Duke used outside and we're going to put one of these backup cameras on the back of Tigger, our 2022 New Camp Tab 320s. Because in the last video we talked about camping, we said, you know, when you camp backing up, make sure you have your hand at the bottom of the wheel, and that's the back of your trailer. So when you want to go left or right, you move your hand to left or right, and that's where the trailer is going to go. Go slow. Practice. If you have a ground guide, check with your ground guide before you start this and go through your signs. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? You know, to me that means one thing. To them it could mean something else. So make sure you run through your signs real quick and get, you know, so everybody knows what we're all talking about through hand language. You know, let's go over. He's going to go in the house. He has ran off of me a couple times out here, so you keep him on the leash and he kind of sits back. Instructions on this Looky-Loo. It's quite large. It comes with a real nice 7-inch display. It comes up with a backup camera and a mount and some extra adds and ends wiring. A nice little mount to put on the dash. We'll figure that out here later. What I want to do today, this morning, is to get it on the back of the license plate and we'll go from there. Here's a little camera and it's on this little bracket, so I put it on behind the license plate, ran the wire and the antenna. Up here is the backup light and just tapped into the 12 volts there, so when the license plate light come on, it will turn the camera on. The display, like I said, it's a nice little display. It's got a little funky mount. We'll look at that here next. Soldering station, 12, you know, voltmeter, make sure I got 12 volts, the right polarity. And what I'm doing is just using one of the echo flows for my power source for run the soldering iron and to run the 12 volts to the head. It took just a couple of minutes to get that wired up, and I'm just checking, make sure. Yeah, I think it's straight. It's kind of hard to tell. The trailer's not quite level. Let's turn on the marker lights, get the license plate camera going. Come over here. Okay, we got markers on. Try not to hit the lights or the windows that are open. And as you can see, fairly nice picture. Then again, I'm only a couple, 2 feet away. As you can see, the tint is quite nice. And granted, yeah, this is going to be on all the time with the license plate. But like I said, it's a cheap. It's under $70. I think it was, by the time I got to the house, it was like $76 and some odd cents with shipping. So it wasn't that bad. But like I said, about 15 minutes at the most to put it in. Now I'll go up in the cab, figure out where we're going to mount this. I'm trying to come up with a mount that'll do the TPM and this display. Something I can take down, stow away where I'm not needing it. Keep it in the camper where I know where it's at. Let's take a look inside. Okay, we got a 12 volt source down here. And I'll just route the cable. Again, this is just going to be temporary. And it sits up there pretty good. I'll get that suction cup mount here. Then I'll probably come up with some type of bracket for the TPM set beside it here. That'll be our next video. Before I put those on, I got to make sure my tire pressures are set. So I got to get this under cover a little bit better. But as you can see, even here in the cab of the truck, and that's a 14-foot trailer, and the Bronco's probably not. We're probably 30 feet at most from that camera. And the antenna is actually a little pigtail antenna. I got that black tape behind the license plate and the plastic bumper, and it's holding up pretty good. Now there are some controls on the side of on the back actually, and what that does, you can adjust brightness, contrast, and color hue. You can flip the screen or reverse it. Get over here. Kind of hard. And so, like I said, that originally it looked like the design was supposed to go on top of the license plate, But with the backup light where it's at, that was not going to work, so I was able to put it down on the bottom 2 screws of the license plate. That way it's not going to also block the Iowa, the state designator on the plate. I've heard people get a little, it's not wrong, but it's just they get a little chewed on by the state patrol or the police officer when they see that. And, they don't get written up or anything of it. They just says, you can't do that. You can't block that much of the plate. So something to keep your mind of. And you can flip it, reverse it, and that's good. The backup lanes are optional, and if I read the instructions a little more, they say that those are customizable, but I think those are going to be good enough the way they are. And again, it's something that's quick and easy. Some people say on a small trailer like this, you really don't need it. To have it mount something like this where we can have the mount there, run the cable down the front. Like it says, if we're not using it, we can pop that off, stow it in the trailer, and we'll go from there. Simple little project. Like it says, 15-20 minutes at the most. I spent more time trying to figure out how to mount that on the plate, make it look good, not cover up too much of the plate, and tap into the power. Get my suction cup deal and put it on the dash, and we're all set to go. Some people, like it says, do you really need it in a small trailer? If you're alone like me, yeah, you do. It makes backing up a lot easier. You might, why take the chance of backing into something when for $80 you can prevent that? Duke doesn't do good with hand signals. He's still at the stage. If it's on the ground, it's edible. On that, I'm going to back this into the tent so the tires are out of the sun, so they cool off a little bit, make something to eat, and start project number 2 for the day. 7-3, everybody. Take care. Be sure to tell your friends, neighbors, other hams. Subscribe, hit that bell to get notification when new videos come out. Add comments below. 7-3, everybody.